Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal and welcome to the Europa League Group Stage Draw live reaction. The draw itself starts in like 20 minutes. So that is what we are going to be doing today and taking a look at which teams we are going to be facing before that. Let me know how you're feeling. I've just put a poll in the chat on YouTube asking which teams would you like to avoid from the second pot. So we'll be going through all that and yeah, it's going to be interesting. Back in the Europa League, back in the European competition after how long? After 2 years. Like the last time we were in this draws 2 years ago, back in 2020. So nice to be back. Last season we were just sitting down and watching all the other teams enjoying the draws and everything. This time around we are in the competition. So I will be going through all the pots and let me know which teams you'd like to avoid, and I'll be showing you which teams we can face and which teams we cannot face. So let's start with pot one. In pot one, we have Roma, Manchester United, Arsenal, Lazio, Braga, Red Star, Dynamo Kiev, and Olympiacos. So we can't face any of those teams in pot one. Obviously, Man United, we can't face them this early. Good thing we maybe can't face Roma right now. Obviously, you'd expect Mourinho to probably reach very far in this competition as well. We also can't face their neighbors, Lazio, Braga, Red Star, the Svrena, whatever is Red Star in English, Dynamo Kiev, and Olympiacos. So those are the teams in pot one. Remember, this season, as I said, this season you have to try and finish top of your table, because if you finish second, you're going to face a team that is coming from the Champions League that finished third in their group. So that makes it even harder. In pot two, there's Feyenoord, Rennes, PSV, Monaco, Real Sociedad, Karabag, Malmo, and Ludo Goretz. So if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, let me know, like in pot two, which one would you like to avoid from those teams in pot two? Would you like to avoid PSV or Monaco, Real Sociedad? Which one is the toughest from that? In pot three, we have Sheriff. Remember, Sheriff beat Real Madrid last season at the Bernabeu. Real Betis, Midtjylland, Bodo and Glimt, Ferencvaros, Union Berlin, Freiburg, and Fenerbahce. Those are the teams in pot three. And then in pot four, probably some of those teams you've never even heard of. Nantes, HJK, Sturm, AEK, Omonia, Zurich, St. Gallen, and Trabzonspor. So a lot of trips there. There's a Finland trip there. There's a Turkey trip there. I think there's a Belgium trip there. A lot of very interesting teams. So let me know if you're an Arsenal fan or even if you're a Man United fan, which team would you like to avoid from pot two? I've asked, is it PSV, is it Monaco, is it Real Sociedad, or Feyenoord? Which team would you like to avoid the most? So the dream draw would probably be facing teams like maybe Malmo from pot two. Pot three, maybe you get like a Boden Glimt or something like that, or maybe even a Freiburg. And pot four, maybe I don't know, maybe a Sturm Gross or something like that. I mean, it's very hard to tell. I mean, you can't just say you can face anyone. Right now, usually the Europa League is played over 10 weeks between September and December. This time around, it's different because of the World Cup. All the Europa League group stage games will be done in the space of 6 weeks. So you're going to be playing almost every single midweek a Europa League game. So you have to be careful. Obviously, you don't want to end up playing, let's say, PSV, and then you have Real Betis from pot three. That's a very tough team. And then you have like an Omonia from pot four. The other thing is you can't really say, like, for example, from pot two, we don't want to face a team like Karabag. You have to take traveling into account. You don't want Arsenal to travel to Kazakhstan or to Azerbaijan. Sorry, to Azerbaijan. That's where Karabag are from. You don't want Arsenal to travel to Azerbaijan in the middle of the season. Azerbaijan is very far. And then if Arsenal travel there and then over the weekend, let's say we are facing like a Liverpool or Tottenham, that becomes very hard. So you have to take that into account as well. Not only the tougher teams, also the traveling. You don't want to be traveling to Azerbaijan or those countries that are far. That's why teams don't mind facing a team from France, for example, like Rennes, because it's not that far in terms of traveling. But having to go to Azerbaijan and countries like that, that's very, very far. So you don't really want that at all. So let me know which teams you'd like to face. The pots are also scrolling down the bottom. So let me know which ones you would like to come up against. Let's see the comments. The draw is starting in like 10 minutes. Obviously, they're already starting, but obviously they do the usual talk. How are you, David? Definitely avoid Real Sociedad. They have a super good squad, says tactical. Yep. The likes of David Silva. Obviously, don't want to face Real Sociedad from pot two. That would be very unfortunate, man. That would be very unfortunate. That's a tough team. And as I said, you need to finish top of your group. If you finish second, you're going to face one of the teams that is coming third from the Champions League. So, for example, in the Champions League, there's a group that has Liverpool, Ajax, and Napoli. If one of those teams comes out, or let's say Ajax goes out and finishes third, you have a potential of facing them if you finish second in the Europa League group. If you face a team like let's say Barcelona or Inter Milan, one of them could finish third in their group. You have the potential of facing them as well. So we need to finish top of our group. Good morning, Tactical. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Saints. Thank you, Ball. Wishing them all the best, says Deshi. Good morning, Kamani. Odu says Arsenal should expect at least 2 coconut head teams. That's a bit disrespectful, but let's hope let's hope we don't say that and then they end up eliminating us from the Europa League Champions League. I wish we'll be there next season, guys. Don't worry. PSV and Monaco, says Usman. Those are the teams you want to avoid. Yeah, PSV is tough. I mean, they went out to Rangers by only 1 goal, but obviously Monaco as well. The last time we faced Monaco, man, they eliminated us from the Champions League when they had all the Bernardo Silvas of this world. Bad memories. I remember Giroud missing so many chances in that game. Bad memories. Aki says, let's see. Tactical says we need to win this competition to get us into Champions League no matter what. Also, we are a club that would take any European success, still hurting over 2006. And also 2019 against Chelsea. The last time we won a European trophy was in the 90s, man. Like, that's a long time ago. We need to win this because Man United have been in the Europa League, they've won it. Chelsea have been in the Europa League, they've won it. Even Frankfurt last season, they won it. Like, every single team that has been there has won it. We need to win this competition, man. Definitely. It's not going to be easy, but let's hope. The 3-4 times we've been there the last 4-5 years, we reached a final against Chelsea, reached a semi-final against Atletico Madrid, reached a semi-final against Villarreal. So we've come close a couple of times. But actually, Atletico Madrid, you only missed out by 1 goal. Villarreal, you only missed out by 1 goal, and Chelsea lost in the final. So we've been so close. This season will test us quality, says Olu. We need a simple team because I don't think we are ready. Ready for what, Kamani? What are you talking about? Ready to play a European competition or ready to compete? What do you mean? I don't understand by we are not ready. Maybe say you're not ready to win it, but not ready to play in the group stage. And tell me about your not transfer time. We'll talk about transfers later. Ibrahim, Kamani says longest time, and we need a replacement for players. Abdul says Arsenal should buy Tielemans and United don't trust our midfield with Thomas and Xhaka. Keep up the good work, says Julia. So let's go through the pots one more time. They're about to start. Pot 1, Roma, Manchester United, Arsenal, Lazio, Braga, Red Star, Dynamo Kiev, and Olympiacos. I'm happy we are not going to face teams like Roma and Lazio right now. Pot 2, Feyenoord, Rennes, PSV, Monaco, Real Sociedad, Karabakh, Malmo, and Ludogorets. I'd love to face Malmo from that group, definitely. Malmo would be a great tie. Karabakh, nope. Azerbaijan is way too far. Real Sociedad, as people have already said, Real Sociedad, PSV are tough teams. Ludogorets, we've played them before. Pot 3, Sheriff, Real Betis. If you have a group of PSV and Real Betis, you're in big trouble. Midtjylland, Boden, Glint, Ferencvaros, Union Berlin, Freiburg, and Fenerbahce. And then in Pot 4, we have Nantes, HJK, Sturm, AEK, Omonia, Zurich, St. Gallen, and Trabzonspor. To be honest, some of those teams you might not have ever heard of, but we might end up playing against. So let me know which team you want from pot 2, which team you want from pot 3, and which team you want from pot 4. They will be taking that sweet time to start the draw. Obviously, they have to talk about it, and talk about it. Let's see. I don't trust these 2 guys for injuries. Abdul says I don't trust these 2 guys for injuries. We need a replacement. We are going to sign players. Pepe has just left. And Torreira's left, Bellerin will leave, Niles will leave. We are going to sign players. There's no way we are going to go into all these competitions without adding any more players. It's basically impossible. We are going to play every single midweek starting from this week. This week we have Fulham on Saturday. and then we have Aston Villa on Wednesday, and then you have Man United over next weekend, and then that week we have Europa League. You can't play with Partey and Jack every single game. We are obviously going to sign someone. Now it depends who we are going to sign. That's the other question. We don't know who we are going to be signing. It could be anyone, man. It could be anyone. Let's hope it's a midfielder. Let's hope it's Tielemans. And if it's not Tielemans, let's hope it's another big midfielder. I don't know, like a Milinkovic-Savic or something like that. That would be very, very helpful, definitely. So this should not be playing. Let me put a pause to that. Let's see. We need Tielemans, but don't want to sign him. No idea, man. No idea. Absolutely no idea. The trophy is being brought to stage. A trophy that you definitely need to win, man. We need to win. The two competitions I really want to win, the Europa League and the Carabao Cup, because we've never really won it before. I just want us to get rid of that thought of we can't win the Europa League, we can't win the Champions League. I'd really love, like, let me ask you guys a question. Would you rather finish in the top four? If I ask you right now, finish sixth and win the Europa League, would you be happy with that? Would you not care at all about finishing sixth, or do you think we have to finish in the top four, forget about winning the Europa League? Which one would you prefer? For me, I really want to win that Europa League. I know you're already doing well in the Premier League, but that Europa League trophy, we've been so close so many times. We've been playing in the Europa League for like 6 years and we've never won it. That's crazy. I used to think whenever we are in the Champions League, I used to think like, you know what, if you're in the Europa League or UEFA Cup as it was called back in the day, I was like, we're definitely going to win this competition. I never thought we were going to win it for this long. And that season we actually came to the Europa League for the first time, I was like, you know what, this is something new. Let's try and win this Europa League. We're probably going to win this Europa League. From what we were seeing from the Champions League, it's definitely not easy, because these days, or not from a long while ago, teams from the Champions League come into the Europa League and you're going to have to face all those guys like maybe Inter Milan, Barcelona, all those guys, and teams like Roma, Lazio, not easy teams to face at all. At least we can avoid them until like the round of quarterfinal or something. Man, they talk a lot. Just give us the draw. We already know the rules. You can't face English teams. You can't face teams in the same pot. We all know that. So let me see the poll. I put a poll on YouTube. Make sure to vote. So the ties will be played on not next week, the other week. That's when the Europa League starts. And then we will be playing basically every single midweek. No breaks at all. We will be playing every single midweek against different teams. We have been playing Europa League since 6 years ago. We haven't won it, and I think that is very bad. It's very hurtful as well that you've come close 3 times basically, and we lost by 1 goal. The Villarreal one definitely hurt a lot. I know the Chelsea thumped us in the final. We were not close to winning that game, but the Villarreal one by 1 goal, like a home game, we just needed a goal in that game, in the face Man United in the final. That was very sad, losing to Villarreal. To Atletico Madrid were a very good team at that time. So let's hope we can win it this time round. Let's hope we get a good draw in the group stage to help us with that. Did you see Tottenham yesterday in the Champions League? They basically got a group that is almost similar to a Europa League group. They are very lucky. That would have been us. The likes of Frankfurt in the group stage. Yep, they are still talking. So in terms of the poll, I asked which team from pot 2 would you rather avoid. Right now, 37% have said Monaco, 37% have said Real Sociedad, 26% have said PSV. So people do not want to face Monaco and Real Sociedad from pot 2. Very understandable. Very, very understandable. It's tough. It's very tough. Those teams going away, especially in the middle of the season. Like if you have like a Tottenham away, and then you end up facing like a PSV away that same weekend, that's tough. And that month, you're going to be playing Europa League starting from 2 weeks from now. There's teams like, I think you're going to face Man United, and then you're going to face like Liverpool and Tottenham like 3 weeks after that or something. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. No, Zaha will never leave Crystal Palace right now. Zaha is definitely not going to leave Crystal Palace. The way he talks about Crystal Palace, like he's had the chance of leaving Crystal Palace a long time ago, but he still decides to stay there. So I don't think Zaha will be leaving Crystal Palace. We had the chance of signing Zaha 3 seasons ago, but we went for Pepe. So I think we already missed out on that boat. It was either Pepe or Zaha. Emery wanted Zaha. We got Pepe, and we know how it has ended up being with Pepe. It's disaster. It's been a disaster basically. It's definitely been a disaster. Saints says Arsenal will go unbeaten in the Europa League. If you go unbeaten in the Europa League, you're probably going to win it. There's a chance you can lose in a penalty shootout, but if you go unbeaten and not lose even in a penalty shootout, you are going to win the competition. So that would be great. Jaden says we are winning this Europa League. Hopefully. I mean, the second team this time is great. The reason why we've not been winning competitions like the Carabao Cup is because we end up facing teams like Liverpool and Man City in the semi-final or in the final. Even in the Europa League, we end up facing teams like Atletico Madrid, Chelsea. And our second team, the team that is coming from the bench, is not good enough. We usually have, let's say, Aubameyang and Lacazette starting in our first team, and then you look at the second team. That time, Ketia used to come on and play in those competitions, and we were like, nah, he's not good enough. Right now, you can look at the team and you're like, wow, second team, Fabio Vieira can play there, Smith Rowe can play there, and Ketia can start there as well. You can have Tomiyasu starting there. You can have Tierney starting there. All those guys who haven't been playing in the Premier League. That's a strong enough team. Like if you have Tierney, Tomiyasu in the second team and Ben White there as well as a centre back, you have definitely still need a midfielder. You can. I've just heard that Lokonga is being linked to the move away. That would be crazy. If we sell Lokonga, then we basically need like 2 midfielders, unless they are very confident you're not going to get injuries until January, which is basically impossible. Because if something happens to Thomas Partey right now, yeah, you know what is going to happen. Kamani says, I want us to win the Premier League and the Europa League. I hope that is not what you are. It's great to want us to win that. I also want us to win the Premier League, the Europa League, even the World Cup. I want us to win everything. But there's some people who put that sentence as, if we don't win the Premier League and the Europa League, it's out. Now, that is not realistic. But if you're saying it like that, I want us to win the Premier League and the Europa League, that would be great. But if you just give me one of those, I'd definitely take it. Even if you give me third position in the Premier League, I'd 100% take it. I feel like this season you're just kind of scaring Man City a bit. Yes, you're starting the season well. I'll not be surprised if we won 5 games in a row at the beginning of the campaign, maybe even open up a 4-point gap. But next season, let's hope we can compete starting from next season. I've had people saying Liverpool and Man City are very far ahead. I think Man City are very far ahead. I don't think Liverpool are that far ahead, especially after selling their players. And that is even coming from what I've seen from Liverpool fans. Liverpool fans have been complaining about not signing players, not upgrading, all that. They don't have a good midfield right now because of a couple of injuries. Maybe if everyone is fit, Liverpool are way better than all of us. Obviously, they're up there with Man City. But I don't think they're like 5 years away. I don't think they're like 5-6 years away. 2 years would be enough, I guess. Let's see how far with Tielemans joining Arsenal. Nothing as of today. I'm very happy seeing Arsenal at the top of the Premiership, man. That site is amazing. Like just seeing us top of the table, that feels so good, man. I wish we can win like 10 games without losing. We can possibly get to 6 or 7. I mean, we have Man United in there, but then like in November it gets tough. We have Liverpool, I think Tottenham, it gets tough. So it's very hard to just, if you go 10 games unbeaten, that means you go through Man United without losing, going through Liverpool without losing, going through Tottenham without losing. I would say if you can get 7 wins from those first 10 games, that would be great. That would be way ahead of our expectations. I don't think if I showed you that fixture list and ask you how many wins you're going to get, people would say maybe 6 or maybe 5. But getting 3 already. Let's start with Fulham first and Aston Villa. If we try and win those games and make it 5, then I mean, Man United, we make fun of Man United, but we all know like Old Trafford is not the best place to play for us. I wouldn't really expect a win. Let's see how we do and how they do in the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't just say we're going to go to Manchester United and win. Always at Man United, at Chelsea, I'm happy with a draw. I mean, taking a draw from there, unless they lose the next couple of games to Southampton and Leicester, and then I'm like, you know what? The win against Liverpool was lucky, but you can see they can always turn it up at Old Trafford. I still believe in Pepe. He can do better this season. He can do better at his new team, Moses. I hope you realize that Pepe has left Arsenal. Kamani says, I believe we can't lose the Manchester United game. I mean, if we go through that one without losing, that would be great. I'd definitely take a draw. I think it's easy to just say we are going to win. but you can't win every single game. There has to be a couple of draws. Hopefully, we don't drop points against like a Fulham or an Aston Villa. Any club from any of these spots is cool for Arsenal, says Saints. Saints, you actually think like facing, let's say, like a Monaco or PSV is great from pot 2? Interesting. Okay, you can any of the teams, you can say that, but just imagine Saints, you end up facing PSV, and then from pot 3 you have Real Betis, and then from pot 4 you have like, I don't know, Nantes or something. The trips are good. You go to France, you go to Spain and all that, but you want it to be a bit easier because of the Premier League as well. Like there's no time, there's no space to rest this time around. The games are coming every single day, basically. So if you can get an easier draw, that would be great. That's why I wasn't really happy with getting Brighton in the Carabao Cup, because you can't really now play your full second team in that one. You have to play a few of the first team players. Yeah, so the draw is about to get started. They're still showing us the procedure and everything, telling us the things that we already know for years. You cannot face a team in pot 1. You cannot face a team from your country. The usual that we know about. So the first part of the draw is just putting the teams in Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D. Olu says, I think to be a champion, you have to win. If you're good to go, any team, I'm good with it. So Olu says, whichever team you get, if you want to win the competition, you have to beat the best. Yeah, you can still beat the best in the semi-final and final. I mean, the second time we won the FA Cup in 2015, after 2014, we beat Man United. Even in 2014, I think we beat Liverpool, we beat Tottenham, we beat Everton. So we beat all the top teams before winning the cup. So that could be true. But obviously, you want it to be a bit easier. You don't want to face PSV in the first round, Monaco in the second round, Real Betis in the third round, Man United in the fourth round, Lazio in the fifth round. That becomes very hard when you're trying to play in the Premier League as well, in the Carabao Cup, in the FA Cup. You want it to be easy in the first round, and then in the next round, you can face all the tough teams. That's my opinion, though. Some people are just happy to face whichever team that comes around. And if we get a tough team, well, let's just go and play the game. We cannot complain about it. Another thing I don't want is for Man United to get the easiest group and then for Arsenal to get the hardest group. We are still competing with them for the top 6, the top 4 in the Premier League if they win the next couple of games. So we don't want it to be easier for them and harder for us. Jumoke says, bring on any team in the Europa League. Arsenal is up to the task. People are feeling confident, man. Our Arsenal team is looking good. We are feeling confident. I think there's no time for us to listen to rest. Let us know that it's good news for us to sell Pepe. Let's know that it's good news for us to sell Pepe. Pepe has actually gone out on loan. He will be back next season. So if he does well this campaign, let's see how he does next season. If he's brought back, there's no option to buy. We really need replacements for Partey and Xhaka. In fact, Saka is getting weak. We need what? Saka is getting weak. Oh, come on, man. It's just the first 2 games of the season. Saka is Arsenal's best player. Don't be fooled about Saka being weak. If Saka gets injured, you're going to definitely miss something. And Arsenal is the first team out of the draw. Is that Group A? Put us in Group A, man. Group A for Arsenal, that's great. We are in Group A, so the draw will be appearing live on screen. So we are in Group A, that's good. We are in Group A. By January, you need replacement for Jesus as well. I'm hoping you're using the wrong word. Replacement is not the right word. That maybe say backup for Gabriel Jesus. That I would understand. Dynamo Kiev, I think, goes to group. So Arsenal is in Group A, so we don't have to go that far into waiting. AS Roma is next out of the pot. So Dynamo Kiev is in Group B. Moses says, let's try Pepe next match and keeps. Pepe has left Arsenal, Moses. Pepe has already left Arsenal. He's not an Arsenal player at the moment. He's already gone. Manchester United is the next out of the pot. And even if Pepe was at Arsenal, I would never agree with that comment. Never, ever. Man United, I think, are in Group D. Braga is the next team out of the draw. Man United are in Group E. So it's easy. Just above my head, we have Man United's group and Arsenal's group. Lazio is the next team out. All those teams are difficult. If you end up facing any of those teams in the knockout stage, it's going to be difficult. But remember, we need to win our group. If you finish second, you have to face one of the teams coming out of the Champions League, which is very tough. Olympiacos is the next team out. Olympiacos also gives me bad memories, man. So Group F for Lazio, Group G for Olympiacos. And the final team to go to Group H is Red Star Belgrade. So we have Arsenal in Group A, Dynamo Kiev in Group B, Roma in Group C. We have Braga in Group D, Man United in Group E, Lazio in Group F, Olympiacos in Group G, and Red Star in Group H. Now it's time for the real draw to start. The pot 2 is going to be drawn right now. Let's hope we avoid the teams that you guys want us to avoid. Let's see where the poll reached. So many people want to avoid Real Sociedad and then Monaco. Let's hope we don't get any of those two teams then. The first team out is PSV. Are they going to go to Arsenal's group? Yep, we're actually going to get PSV. Uh-oh, that's a tough team, man. That's a tough team. PSV is in Arsenal's group. It's been such a long time since we faced PSV, but that's not an easy draw. That is not an easy draw. And that was the third team you guys wanted to avoid. So Rennes is the next team out. Are you guys happy with PSV? I mean, PSV are just one goal away from being in the Champions League. So Rennes go into Dynamo Kiev's group. Yeah, tactical. Damn it, we got a tough team. We got basically what we got in our Europa League group so far is harder than what Tottenham got in their Champions League group. Like, that's just crazy. Ludogorets go into AS Roma's group. So I'm hoping Man United can get like a Real Sociedad or something. Malmo is the next team out. So they're going to Group D. Okay, the next team will probably be a Man United team, so let's hope they get a tough team here. We still have Real Sociedad. We still have Karabag, Sheriff. I know these guys. Man United will probably get like a Sheriff or something stupid like that. Real Sociedad, no way. No way. They're going to play in Real Sociedad. Tell me that's Group E. Wow, yo, Man United against Real Sociedad. That's tough. That's tough. Arsenal against PSV and Man United against Real Sociedad. Well, at least we avoided Real Sociedad. That's a good thing. At least we avoided Real Sociedad. Feyenoord is the next team out. They go into the same group with Lazio. So yeah, both Arsenal and Man United have gotten a tough group. You know, by the way, who the manager of PSV is? Ruud van Nistelrooy. Yeah, the guy who scored a penalty to help end our 49 game unbeaten run. That guy, that Van Nistelrooy guy that Arsenal fans don't like. That Van Nistelrooy guy who beat Thierry Henry to the Golden Boot. I think it was in 2003. So it's Arsenal against Ruud Van Nistelrooy. Karabakh go into Olympiacos' group and Monaco go into Red Star Belgrade's group. So that is pot 2 done. Arsenal against PSV, Dynamo Kiev against Rennes, Roma against Ludogorets. We have Braga against, which team do Braga have? Malmo, Man United against Real Sociedad, Lazio against Feyenoord, Olympiacos against Karabakh, and Red Star against Monaco. Those are the groups so far. Time for pot 3. The teams that we have in pot 3 are Sheriff, Real Betis, Midtjylland, Bordeaux and Glimt, Ferencváros, Union Berlin, Freiburg, and which one am I forgetting? Whichever team it is, man. Just give us whichever team. So the first team that is going to come out is going to be in Arsenal's group, unless it's from Spain. Please don't give us Real Betis. Please, no. Bordeaux and Glimt, that's a Norwegian team. That is Odegaard going back to his home country. I actually do follow the Norwegian league. So Bordeaux and Glimt last season thumped Roma, I think, by 7-0 in the Conference League. I actually know Bordeaux and Glimt very well. They have a player called Pellegrino, and he's very, very good. He scores every single week for them. Fenerbahce is going to go to Group B. You would expect us to beat Bordeaux and Glimt. I think, if I'm not wrong, those teams in Norway use artificial pitches, and teams don't like to play like on carpets. So that could be a thing as well, depending on which players we can play in that game. Real Betis go into Group C. Thank you, Joseph. Kamani Group D. So far, we have Man United and Real Sociedad. We are close to finding out which other team is going to go to their group. Tactical says PSV. Damn it, Monaco is not a team. I can tell you they are a team. Watch United get a random team. Not they got Real Sociedad. Right now, I have great confidence in us and let them give us any team we can beat. Say, sir. I think the next team will be Man United's team. Don't give them a random team. Midtjylland. They got this Midtjylland team. I remember they faced each other years ago. Is it? No, they actually can't. So Sheriff, Man United got Sheriff. Sorry, Man United got Sheriff in Group E. And then Midtjylland go into Group F. The next team drawn out is Union Berlin. So we avoided all the German teams. I mean, I guess, but for now, you can say Arsenal's and Man United's groups are similar. We have to travel to Norway and to Netherlands. That's not that bad. United have to go to Spain, and I have totally forgotten where Sheriff is from. But Sheriff did beat Real Madrid last season. Freiburg go into Group G. Someone said easy fixture for Real Sociedad playing against Man United. I'm telling you, when Ronaldo watches this draw, he'll be like, hell no, I'm not going to play against Sheriff. And the final team out is Ferencváros, who go into Group H. And it's time for the last part of the draw. Pot 4. In pot 4, we have... In pot 4, you have some teams that you might not have heard of. Nantes, HJK, Sturm, AEK, Omonia, Zurich, Saint, Gallos, and Trabzonspor. Trabzonspor. That's France, Finland, Austria, I think Cyprus. Let me see if my football knowledge is great. Cyprus again. Zurich is Switzerland. St. Gallen, I think, is Belgium. And Trabzonspor is Turkey. So let's see which kind of trip we are going to get. Don't give us, I don't know, just give us any team, whichever, man. FC Zurich, Switzerland. That's not bad, man. That's a good trip for the players and the fans. That's a very good trip, right? Zurich is going to Arsenal's group. Yep, we've gotten Zurich. So we've not gotten a bad trip. We've not gotten a trip to like Azerbaijan or Cyprus or something crazy, very far from England. We've gotten PSV Netherlands, Boden Glimt Norway, and Zurich Switzerland. That's great. That's not bad. AEK have got into Dynamo Kiev's group. Looking at that group, I mean, that's not a bad group for us. PSV is very tough, but in terms of the traveling and everything, I think I wouldn't have chosen anything better than that. I'm happy we avoided Betis and Real Sociedad in those kind of teams. The next team out is just waiting to find out which team Man United have. HJK Helsinki is going into Group C. So Roma, Ludogorets, Betis, HJK go into the same group. What do you guys rate our group? Would you expect us to win that comfortably? Union, St. Gallen, that's a Belgium trip for Braga, Malmo, and Union Berlin. The next group will be Man United's group. Let's see which team they get. Sturm Graz, that's an Austrian team. So Man United have gotten an Austrian team in their group. I mean, I think both teams will be happy with that. Or have they gotten Omonia? They've gotten Omonia, so Sturm Graz has gone to Lazio's group. So that's Cyprus. I think Man United will go to Cyprus. So that's some crazy trips. You would expect them to win that group or to finish second at least, but those trips are some brutal trips for them. Trabzonspor is the next team drawn out. So they go into Group H. Let me see what you guys' reaction is to the full groups. And Nantes is the final team out. Calvin says PSV are a much tougher team to face, and boom, we get them first pick. I know, man, our luck. PSV is a good team, sir. Believe me, PSV is a very good team. Arsenal are confident to win this group. So let's go through the groups one more time. Group A, Arsenal, PSV, Boden, Glimt, and Zurich. Group B, Dynamo Kiev, Rennes, Fenerbahce, and EAK. Group C, Roma, Ludogorets, Real Betis, and HJK. Group D, Braga, Malmo, Union Berlin, and Union St. Gallen. That is Group D. Group E, Man United, Real Sociedad, Sheriff, and Omonia. Group F, Lazio, Feyenoord, Midtjylland, and Sturm Graz. Group G, Olympiacos, Karabakh, Freiburg, and Nantes, or Nantes. That's how you're supposed to pronounce it. And Group H, Red Star Belgrade, Monaco, Ferencváros, and Trabzonspor. I mean, I would take it. I wouldn't have loved to face Monaco anyway. Feyenoord, I don't know. Maybe it would have been better. Ludogorets. Maybe a Ludogorets would have been better for us than a PSV, but hey, Bodo and Glint, Zurich, that would be great. I do follow Bodo and Glint, and I know they're a very good team over in Norway. They do have a very good midfielders there. Thank you, Idris. Yeah, I mean, getting PSV and Real Betis would have been terrible, Richard. Arsenal will win this group fast by the table, says Hamad. Hello, guys. Tomorrow, Arsenal 3-1, says Alhaji. PSV will be tough, says Isaac. Arsenal are going to win the group. Hopefully, Arsenal winning all their group stage matches. I mean, I'd say that's a bit overconfident. It depends. If you're going to go with the first team or whichever team, let's see which players we're going to sign before then. I would want us to face, if you can face PSV in the first game and get it over with, I'd actually take that. And transfer news on another video. Samuel, I can't wait to see us draw Olympiacos again. Thankfully not. Arsenal will win it group stage matches. Good draw for Arsenal, says Amisu. Believe me, we are all going to beat all these clubs, says Saints. Arsenal and PSV will go through, says Rogers. We are going to top our group. And Abdul says we are beating PSV for sure. Hopefully, man, hopefully. You need to finish first at top of your group. To proceed to the round of 16. If you finish second, you have to face a team coming from the Champions League. So that is not going to be easy. We will be having the transfers in. It'll probably come live later on today, but that is a full Champions League. God, Champions League. Why am I saying Champions League? We are supposed to be in the Champions League. That's why. This is the full Europa League draw. We will be back in the Champions League next season. Thank you guys for watching. Catch up with you on the next one.